Hello students. So in the last session we have discussed about the coordination in animals. Now we are going to discuss about the coordination in plants. Do plants have coordination? Yes, say yes or no. So have you seen any movements in plants? So to answer all these questions, just watch this video. So the plants do not have nervous system or muscles or to respond to the stimulus. Then how they are responding? So the plants show two different types of movement in response to the stimulus. One is dependent on growth and the another one is independent of growth. One is dependent on growth and the another one is independent of growth. First, dependent on growth. When a seed germinates, the root goes down, that is geotrophism, and the stem comes up towards the light, that is phototrophism. So, one dependent on growth, you can see the example, this germination of seed. Another is independent of growth. This is nothing to do with the growth. Have you touched a touch me not a plant? This is actually touch me not a plant, and when you are touching it, it will quickly fold up and droop. Okay, that kind of movement is nothing related to the growth. Okay, so there are two types, dependent on growth, independent of growth. So first we will see dependent on growth. Okay. So the plant's response to stimuli by growing in a particular direction, and because of the directional growth it appears as if the plant is moving. Okay, a small intro. Then you know what is a tropic movement or trophism. So the tropic movement is the plant movement that is determined by the direction of environmental stimulus. So maybe they will ask you to define what is a tropic movement. So tropic movement is the plant movement that is determined by the direction of an environmental stimulus. The tropic movements can be towards the stimulus or away from the stimulus. Okay, either you can say positive geotrophism or negative geotrophism, either away or towards the stimulus. Then the tropic movements are of various types depending on the nature of the stimulus. We will see one by one. First is phototrophism. Here the stimulus is light. The shoots respond by bending towards light while roots respond by bending away from it. So that is phototrophism. Phototrophism is what? Photo means light. Stimulus is light here. The shoot respond by bending towards the light while the root respond by bending away from it. Okay. Root is away and shoot is towards. That is phototrophism. So the shoot is positively phototrophic and the root is negatively phototrophic. That is phototrophism, movement of the plant towards the light. Then geotrophism. Here the stimulus is gravity. The roots of the plants grow downward towards the gravity, whereas the shoots grow upward against the gravity. That is geotrophism. Okay. Then the next one is hydrotrophism. What is hydro? Water, isn't it? Hydrotrophism means water. Here the stimulus is water. The root always grow towards the water. In search of water it will grows. That is hydrotrophism. Phototrophism light, geotrophism gravity, hydrotrophism water. Okay. Then chemotrophism. Chemo means chemical, isn't it? So the movement or response to chemical stimulus is known as chemotrophism. So the growth of pollen tubes towards the ovules. Here you can see, students, this is a pollen grain. This pollen grain, okay, due to the chemical substances present here, it will just, the tube will grow. In this place we have egg, okay. Egg apparatus is present in this place. So this grain will develop a pollen tube, and this tube will grow towards the egg, and the male gametes will be present in this. That gamete will combine and fuse in this egg, okay. So that is chemotrophism, growth of pollen tubes towards the ovules, where the ovules produce the chemicals for the growth and the passage of the pollen tubes. That is chemotrophism. Okay, so far we have seen the movement which depends on growth. So what are the movement? Phototrophism, geotrophism, hydrotrophism and chemotrophism. Now we will see the movement which is independent of growth, which has nothing to do with the growth. Okay. So as no growth is involved, so the plants move by changing the shape of the cell. We will see some examples for it. In sensitive plants, the plants move its leaves in response to touch, that is the touch me not a plant. Then the movement takes place at a point different from the point of touch. Okay, you would have touched here, but it will start slowly and it will close. Some cells change the shape by changing the amount of water in them. As a result, the cells either shrink or swell and therefore changes shapes. Say for example, take a green leaf. Okay, if there is no water, keep it outside for some time. If there is no water, each and every cell in the green leaves started to shrink. Just spray some water on it. Then the cells start swell and it look as if it is very fresh, isn't it? So that is the example, but that has nothing to do with the growth. That is the movement which is independent of growth. Okay. So nastic movements. Nastic movements are the non-directional movements which are neither towards or away from the stimulus. Okay. Here we are not talking about towards the stimulus or away from the stimulus. It is neither towards or away from the stimulus, and it doesn't depend on the growth. Okay. If example is, if we touch the leaves of a touch me not a plant, the leaves fold up and droops down immediately due to the change in the amount of water in the leaves. Okay, this is depending upon the amount of water in the leaves. It swells or shrinks. It swells or shrinks. That is nastic movement. Okay, students. Then, so we will see the phytohormones. Maybe you can get these type of, this content either in the 1 mark. They will just give you, okay, tell me the name of the hormone which is involved in cell division and cell elongation and growth. Then you have to say auxin, like that. Okay. So first let's see what are the hormones. Auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid and ethylene. Okay. So what are the hormones? Auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid and ethylene. So in plants, the control and coordination is done by the chemical substances called plant hormone. We have seen many hormones in human beings, isn't it, in the last session. And now here we are going to see the plant hormones or phytohormones. These are the main types. 1. Auxin. So the function of this is, it helps in cell division and also in growth. So this gibberellin will also help in growth, but this elongation part will particularly come by gibberellin. Okay. Cell elongation by the gibberellin. Then cytokinins help in cell division, formation of fruits, nourishment. The key word for cytokinin is, it will help in nourishment. And abscisic, these 3 are promoters, which means it is helping in the growth, and this is actually the inhibitor. Okay, it is stopping some particular action. inhibiting the growth and affect the wilting of leaves. Say for example, the older leaves have to wilt and it has to fall down. So this will help in that also. Okay. Then ethylene helps in flowering and mainly ripening of fruit. Okay, the fruits are ripening. Maybe for us the ripening will be very good if we like the ripened mangoes rather than the raw mangoes. But according to the plant, the ripening is the senescence, that is they are old, isn't it? They are old age, that's it. So this ethylene will help in flowering and also it helps in ripening of fruit. That is about the phytohormones. So what are the hormones we have discussed? Auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid and ethylene. So with this we have completed this entire chapter on control and coordination. Okay, in this we have discussed about the nervous system, the endocrine system, and also how the coordination in plants and how the hormones are helping in the plants for the coordination. I hope this session will be very useful in learning all these concepts. Thank you for watching this video.